"11 hours, 0 recline, and a seat that looks more like a sculpted sofa than a lie flat." Today we're testing Finnair's AirLounge from Helsinki to Seoul to see if the Nordic design hype actually holds up. Our journey started in Paris at the X-Time Lounge. This is a contract lounge used by Finnair and a lot of other Oneworld carriers like British Airways. There's a bunch of seating and little nooks, but not really any proper tables or chairs. There are some nice areas to plane spot though if that's your jam. Food isn't the most exciting, with a mix of salad bar, cheese, and some hot items. It's passable, but nothing to write home about. There's also a lot of drinks including self-pour wine, spirits, champagne, and coffee. I'm more than happy with a free pit stop for a cup of coffee. We'll start by looking at their Intra-Europe business product, then move to their flagship lounge, the new AirLounge experience, and finish with the Oneworld Lounge in Incheon. Big favor before we dive in is to give this a thumbs up to help with the algorithm. It surprisingly helps, and if you're new and want to travel better, consider subscribing. The first leg of the trip is Intra-Europe Business.
So we are in business class, but it's not that impressive for the most part. Pretty much like domestic economy in the US. Main difference though is that they do leave at the middle seat, so this is left empty. Sometimes they'll even have trays to kind of block it off. Seat itself is pretty straightforward. You can't adjust anything, but it's not too bad. Like, it's pretty well cushioned. But yeah, otherwise pretty straightforward. No entertainment system. This is the table. And we are flying the Airbus A319, 3-hour flight. Let's get a water bottle and a blanket. Up in the air, and the snack is going to be pretzels, and a drink, I ended up getting blueberry juice. Mandy got sparkling water. Which one do you like better, blueberry juice or water?
Blueberry juice.
Let's give it a taste. That's really good. I like it. Pretzels are pretty normal. I like that there are big chunks of salt, so the coarse salt rather than the fine salt, but that's just me. Alrighty, lunch is here, and I ended up pre-ordering the meatballs because it made sense to me. Also ended up getting 2 drinks, so another blueberry one and also a Coke Zero. I didn't expect the whole can, I kind of wanted just a little bit, but it's fine. Let's start the meatballs. It's pretty good. Kind of reminds me of IKEA meatballs, which I'm a fan of. Let's try the potatoes. Potatoes are okay. They're not TV dinner style, so it's not as liquidy as that, but it is pretty thick, which I think I'm not used to. That's fine. Yeah, meatballs good, potatoes okay. Let's try the smoked turkey. Pretty normal. I like that it's not too dry. And more blueberry juice. I like blueberry juice. For dessert, we have a traditional pastry, which kind of looks like a Danish. Looks like there's almond as well, and looks pretty sweet. Let's give it a try. Really good, but also really sweet. Definitely need a black coffee to go with it. Inside's creamy, and there's almond flakes. Pretty good. Ending the flight on a sweet note. So chocolate was pretty tasty. Also forgot to show off the blanket, might as well do it before landing. It kind of feels like a towel that I would have in my kitchen. It's rougher than I thought it would be. Like, I think I'm used to very soft ones. Didn't even use it, so I can't complain. But yeah, definitely heavier and rougher, which I guess maybe is representative of the area we're flying to, Helsinki. Maybe towel for kitchen is poorly phrased, but yeah, hopefully that makes sense compared to a lot of other ones where it's like super plushy and soft and like huggable.
After landing in Helsinki and debating for way too long about buying a Moomin, we started the long trek towards the lounge. Since we were flying international and out of the Schengen zone, we had to go through outbound passport control. Helsinki is Finnair's home base and houses their flagship lounge, the Finnair Platinum Wing. Think of this as Finnair's answer to a small Nordic boutique hotel dropped right inside the non-Schengen pier. Entry is limited to Oneworld Emerald and Finnair Platinum and Lumo status, keeping guest numbers low at just 155 seats. The design language is pure Helsinki with mid-tone woods, slate floors, moody blues, backlit by floor-to-ceiling apron views. For food, there's an a la carte dining room. The menu changes but usually includes a fish, pasta, and something with reindeer. There's also a buffet section with a lot of items, so a hot bar with tons of food including hanger steak, meatballs, and a fish appetizer. In the middle, you have a bunch of pastries and other items which look oddly photogenic. The food quality was pretty good. The hanger steak was a tad bit salty, but otherwise fine. The smaller dishes though were super tasty. The made-to-order items though were even better. The fish was perfectly cooked, flaky, and the sauce was rich and delicious. The reindeer burger is a blend of beef and reindeer with a lingonberry mayo. First time having it this way, but it was great and I'd happily recommend it. Reindeer meat is pretty lean with a bit of sweetness. It tastes like beef with more earth notes, but definitely not gamey if that's a concern. For drinks, there's a 360-degree marble bar right in the middle of the lounge. It's probably one of the most photogenic bars I've seen, with curved oak slats, halo light fixture, and high stools that feel lifted out of a Helsinki design showroom. Their signature cocktails includes a Bluesinki, Cloudberry Old Fashioned, and a Lingonberry Gin Fizz. For bubbly, they have Joseph Perrier Brut. Local options include rye from Helsinki Distilling Company. If you want to get away from the hustle of the dining room, there's a back area with a bunch of sofas. Great place to relax for a longer layover to enjoy some alone time. If you've had a long travel day, you can take a rinse off in one of the 6 private shower rooms. Each acts like a mini spa with rainfall head, heated bench, and a vanity stocked with See's birch tar toiletries. There's also a steamer outside to de-wrinkle clothes, which is a nice touch. The most unique feature of the lounge, though, is the Finnish sauna. There's about 8 seats of cedar and spruce, and they keep it running at about 90 degrees Celsius or 195 Fahrenheit. Note that it's unisex and they expect you to have swimwear on or to cover yourself with a towel. It's the only lounge in Europe that lets you enjoy a true communal Finnish sauna. The Helsinki to Incheon flight used to be about 8 hours, but with the Russia detour, it's now closer to 12 to 13 hours. Not necessarily a bad thing though in business class. The moment the jet bridge door swings open, you don't meet a wall of bins, you meet space. Finnair ripped out the center overhead lockers on its A350s, so the first thing you see is a clean cathedral-like tunnel of 121 pods lit in soft Nordic blues and ambers. The effect is that it makes the airplane aisle feel like a boutique hotel lobby. The first thing you'll notice with the sculpted AirLounge shell is how high it rises, about 49 inches or 125 cm, meaning you get privacy without a door. The seat back never reclines. Instead, you lounge, perch, or slide the ottoman forward to create a 79-inch flatbed. No motors means no whirring, and for takeoff, you click a 3-point shoulder harness that feels more automotive than aviation. Under the sidearm, you'll find a deep storage bin big enough for a big camera, wireless charging pad with rubber grips, also USB-C, USB-A, and AC outlets. The TV screen is on the small side at 18 inches, but it's still 4K. Welcome drinks include either their trademark blueberry juice shooter or Joseph Perrier champagne. This business class flight normally runs you about $2,500 one way, down to about $1,900 per way as a round trip if you live in Europe. If you want to book this with points like we did, you have a ton of options including Finnair, Alaska, Qantas, British Airways, American, and Cathay. We ended up using 75k Qantas, and it's one of the easier to book options out there. Also pretty reasonable fees, so more than happy to lock in 3.3 cents per point, since we would have otherwise paid the 2.5k. Point prices can and often do change, so I'll leave a blog post down below with the current options. If you want to learn about cards to get points for these redemptions, and you want to support the channel, we have links on the website asksebby.com and also down below in the description box. Make sure the links are competitive, but otherwise it's a huge way to support the channel, so thank you in advance.
Okay, let's do a seat tour. So the seat itself is pretty gigantic, and I'm pretty impressed. As someone that has wider shoulders, it's pretty roomy. Also as a man spreader, it's perfect. You do get a bunch of blankets, so this is one of them, second one over here, and also 2 pillows. One of the first things I noticed was how big the footwell was. So you do have a ton of room here, and it's comparably not cramped. We are flying on the Airbus A350, and it's a pretty big aircraft. One of my favorite parts is that there's no middle section, so it's wide open, which means that it's less claustrophobic. Tons of accenting lights throughout the seat, and also the footwell over there. My seat has one window and then 2 halves. Storage over here for your headphones, and also where they get plugged in, as well as the remote control. So one of the first things I noticed is that this is a very flat seat. So I feel like most other ones have a bit more structure to it. This almost feels like a wall of sorts. So you do probably want to use these pillows to actually have some support. There also is a second storage right over here, which currently just has water, and water is from Villy. I'm gonna put my other accessories in there for now. I feel like I have a bit too many things floating around. Wow, it's pretty deep. That's a little annoying. So this doesn't stay up. So slippers, which are pretty big, but they kind of fully fit. So this one is a lot deeper than this one. This one's just kind of like halfway. So there is a shoe storage area down here, which is really well designed, or I guess also a place to put your feet. For me though, if they are providing slippers, I'm gonna wear slippers. They are pretty thin, so I'm a bit surprised on that end, but let's test out the comfort. They also gave me medium instead of large, so we'll see how that fits. So they are pretty thin slippers, but they kind of work. My guess is because people in Helsinki, especially during this season, have pretty thick socks already. The cabin is pretty warm, and the last thing you'd want is super thick socks and super thick slippers, just because you would overheat. This is actually pretty perfect. Also, it is a wool material, so a bit higher quality than some other ones. Yeah, had a bunch of juices from their flights, and they're pretty good. No complaints. Headphones are over here, and let's open them up. They are Tech headphones that are noise cancelling, and they're Finnair branded. Let's do the ear test. So I have pretty big ears, and this doesn't fully cover it. It's hard to see, but it's kind of on it. So not the most comfortable, but we'll see how it goes during the flight. If it's a bit rough, then I'll probably swap to my own. Noise cancellation wise though, it's not too bad. It does a pretty good job of getting rid of the noise right now already. So it does have this pleather cushioning similar to a lot of the other headphones. One nice note is actually the leather on the seat. So this is like a fabric material, same with over here, but right here becomes leather or pleather, and yeah, pretty nice. It just feels very premium. Hopefully that's not weird. Yeah, feels very nice. Just feels like a very fancy leather chair. So here there is a diagonal seat belt, storage area over here, no charging of device inside compartment with door closed. I didn't know that. Headphones are in there right now, standard USB and USB-C. Also remote control. There also is a charging pad right over here. Oh, also I discovered that this does move. There's basically two modes. So number one, number two, it doesn't go anymore. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit dumb. It swivels like this, basically. So it pushes out, in, swivel, swivel, and technically anything else in between as well. So this whole range. Finnair is the official airline Santa Claus, and we are flying in seat 7L. Seat guide. So this is the new AirLounger, which doesn't move. It does kind of feel like a nice comfy couch compared to a lot of other seats. Maybe I'm alone, but it feels like I'm in a co-working space, but in a good way. One thing I don't like, and maybe it's a function of myself, is that the seatbelt does cut into my neck area a bit. Maybe based off how I'm sitting towards the left. So maybe I need to position more towards the right. Based off what I'm used to doing, it's a bit much. The seat does have a pretty interesting bed mode, and we'll get into that. So you might not know this, but they are one of the oldest airlines that have stuck around, which is a pretty cool point. Also one of the first members of Oneworld. Here is Mandy, in case you're curious. But I don't know if she sees us. I think she's watching TV. Oh, there she is. Hello. Pretty nice cabin overall, and first impressions are really good. One nice touch I just noticed is that this does fully recess into the seat. Initially I said it didn't because I couldn't feel it, but now playing with it, you can. So if you push it the right way, then you don't really feel it at all, which is awesome. Yeah, that's perfect. Super smart compared to some other airlines. There is still the waist strap that you should generally try to use if you can, and there is that hooking mechanism. So initially when we boarded, it was like this. Let's stick this in here for now and pull it back out for landing. One disadvantage is that the screen does not move, so it is locked into place and it doesn't pivot. Even if you're in sleep mode, it's going to be the same exact position. Also, it doesn't turn left or right either. For the most part, it's fine because it's pretty much perfectly in line for when you are sitting up, but when you're laying down, maybe a bit tougher. So afterwards, you probably are going to be from down here, which is less of a great viewing angle. Let's try out the charging pad because I'm kind of curious. A lot of other ones don't really work well, even without a case. Hello? Oh, okay. So right now we are at 36%. I feel like there is a magnetic point, so we're hitting it. So it's now charging 35%. But oftentimes a lot of these do disconnect. Okay, let's see how this does. It's at 35% now at 6:29, let's say 6:30. Reminder that if you do have a case, you generally have to take it off the case for it to work. Oh, that's actually pretty smart that they have a full-on itinerary too. So for a lot of other airlines, you know that they're going to turn off the lights at some point after dinner. But here, I really like that they actually tell you when. So dinner's coming up in 4 hours at 10 p.m. They're turning off the lights. And the intent is that you sleep for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, and then breakfast after that. Which kind of perfectly works as a reset and is timed perfectly for, I guess, the hours. Okay, let's take a look at the movies. So right now is end of 2024. You have highlighted ones are going to be Deadpool, Beetlejuice, Twister, and Alien. Oops. Oh no, how do I get off the screen? Mandatory ad. Okay, while we wait, let's talk about the screen itself. Probably shouldn't take that off while it's charging. It is about 1.5 iPhones up and down, and across it's 1, 2, almost 3, so like 2.5-ish. Definitely not the biggest screen, but still fine. So I feel like that is something that could have been a bit better. So for new releases, you have Roleplay, Mother's Instinct, Color Purple, Ferrari, Aquaman. It feels a little bit older to me compared to some other flights. It's more like in the last year rather than in the last quarter. So settings allow you to change the basic stuff. Overview is the itinerary and the schedule, also the meal. Entertainment is going to be movies, series, and music. For series, they have House of Dragon, Succession, Big Bang Theory, Friends, not that many episodes, 5 episodes, bit of everything. For the most part, 5 episodes of a lot of the popular shows. Coming up next is dinner and then sleep time. And we land in Seoul at 5 a.m. And then after that, breakfast, which kind of acts as lunch as well. Right now, takeoff at 6 p.m. in Helsinki. We did pre-order food, but let's take a look at the menu anyways. For the cold plate, they serve 2 dishes. It's going to be smoked whitefish, crawfish tails, and marinated shimi mushrooms and scallop cream. Wine pairing is going to be dry white wine. Also goat cheese tartelette, semi-dried cherry tomatoes, and red currant compotes. So for the warm plates, you can choose your main dish, miso cooked beef, pike perch salmon, or Korean spicy chili chicken. I think Mandy went with the beef and I went with the fish, and we were planning to swap midway through. That way we can just kind of review both of them. Korean one just didn't sound that good to me, but maybe I'm missing out. For dessert, you can pick from the cheese, chocolate, or carrot cake. Before landing, it's cheese and spinach souffle with roasted potatoes and a bunch of other items. And that's it, actually. So there's no second choice there. That's all you get. Flight is about 11 hours, so 10 minutes and 55 minutes left. 10,500 kilometers. So I didn't notice this before, but there's even more room over here. So there is quite a bit of room. Oh, that's nice. Charger plug over here, and I believe this is the life jacket. Okay, starting off meal service with a towel. It smells pretty good. It was also pretty hot. One pro tip is to open up your table and wipe it down. Oh, pretty well designed. Seatbelt over here is for sleep mode. While we wait for dinner, let's unbox the amenities kit. So travel kit is from Mary Miko for Finnair, and it has sleeping mask, toothbrush toothpaste, and earplugs. It does look pretty nice and something I feel like I would actually use. Perfect for things like batteries. Inside, you're going to find a bunch of items to get refreshed. Also, you can use the toothbrush for up to 3 months. There is a seal to show that it is not used. Eye mask, toothbrush, more about Seas and their collaboration with Finnair. So match made in the sky. Seas and Finnair partners to bring the highest quality body care products on board, and you can find their hand wash and hand and body lotion in the business class lavatories. All of them are biodegradable and from Finland. Also earplugs. Pretty bare bones amenities kit, feel like that could be improved, but I do like this bag because again, I can actually use it. I feel like they could toss in a lotion and also a lip balm, and that make it a bit more complete. But yeah, let me know what you think, whether this is enough and hits the main criteria, or would you expect a bit more? Okay, food's here, and first up we have some nuts. They are salted and seasoned, and doesn't look too bad. They are cold though, kind of wish they heated them up. Initially, I was going to guess that'd be too seasoned for my taste, given how much salt it looks like there's on here, but it tastes fine. Oh, pretty normal almonds. Okay, dinner's here, and it looks amazing. I ended up getting the salmon, and Manny got the beef. Let's start with the 2 appetizers. So first up is a smoked whitefish with crawfish tails and marinated mushrooms. Crawfish is super delicate and looks nice. Wow. It's a super creamy sauce and it's delicious. That's really good. The crawfish isn't overcooked, you have the bounciness of it, and it's kind of a nice, creamy, but not overwhelming white sauce. Yeah, almost a Bernese, really creamy and delicious. Let's try the smoked whitefish. Definitely a different taste, and the first initial 2 seconds, I was like, it's okay, but it really grows on you. There's a lot of nuance to it, which is nice. So it kind of the ride is really good, if that makes sense. I actually really don't have whitefish that much, so initial taste was weird, but yeah, it's really smooth and there's a lot of flavor to it. It's great. Really good. Mushrooms. That is so good. Probably the most unique mushrooms I've ever had. So this is one of those dishes that if I got in a Michelin star restaurant, I wouldn't be surprised by. I would actually really like it, and I think it is at that level. It's unique enough. It's really good. Wouldn't necessarily be my favorite dish there, but it's a pretty interesting appetizer. Cucumbers are also really good. They're a bit pickled and they're finely sliced. It's just one of those artsy dishes. Yeah, and really good. Can't really complain. Next, we have the goat cheese tartette. Really citrusy. You can taste the berries and tomatoes coming through. The really good part is that it cuts the edge off the goat cheese. I'm normally not a goat cheese person, but here it's not too bad. I don't know if it's something I would personally order myself outside of this context, but I think I do appreciate the artistry here and the melding of flavors. So the creaminess from the cheese, a bit of crunch from the tart, and then citrus and acidity from the berries. Pretty unique and solid, even as someone that doesn't like goat cheese. On to the main act, we have the salmon. So I did do a pre-cut to look into how it is, and on surface level, it looks a little bit dry. Just from the look of it, it seems a lot more chalky rather than kind of like slices that you normally would see. It's not dry at all. What the heck? I don't know what they did, but it almost tastes like a salmon meatball. I'm not sure if they sous vide it or did some other process, but it tastes pretty good. Sauce is perfect and goes really well with it. I'm confused. We'll see what Mandy says. I can be completely wrong, but I think they did a slight process. Maybe like they put it into a blender for a little bit, and it's kind of like a meat loaf, which sounds terrible. I completely understand that, but it actually really works. Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like I've had a lot of salmon in my time, and I've never had it this way before. So it's pike, perch, and salmon terrine. So they pretty much melded it into something that looks like a slice of salmon, which I guess I kind of knew in the back of my head when I read it, but it never clicked because it just looks like a piece of salmon. Yeah, that's really good. I would get this one. Veggies are solid, and if you like a creamy sauce, this is perfect. Let's see if Mandy's ready to swap. Okay, let's try Mandy's beef. I haven't even tasted it yet, but I can tell that's really well cooked because it's fall off the bone or fall off the meat. I like that the sauce isn't too overwhelming. Yeah, delicious overall. Moment of truth, I think I do like Mandy's dish better than mine. Mine might be a bit more unique, but this beef one's really good. For me, at least right now, it scratches an itch that I really have with meat. And yeah, it's good. Can't complain. The potatoes are so good. They're probably terrible for me. I feel like I'm eating a stick of butter, but they're delicious. Okay, I think I'm being asked to return this dish. Actually, first one broccolini. Broccolini is pretty interesting too. They have like a lemon spritz on it, which is a nice change of pace and kind of clears the palate. I think Mandy and I are both on the same page that we like the beef a bit better. And the fish is more unique and artistic, but the beef scratches that primordial itch. Okay, gonna finish this off and see you at dessert. Okay, last up we have dessert. I ended up getting the chocolate mousse and Mandy got the carrot cake. Also got cheese, so let's start with that first. I'm usually not a cheese person, but it's pretty good here. I think it's a sauce because even with the blue cheese, which I'm generally not a fan of, it still works. It's some form of jam, but I'm not really sure which one. Maybe like mandarin or clementine or something. Maybe orange, but yeah, something in that range. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, let's move to the chocolate. So I like chocolate mousse, and that really works. Cherry compote is perfect for it. I hope it's cherry compote. Let me double check. Berry compote. I'm guessing it's lingonberry given the area. Yeah, that's delicious. Coffee. Coffee is not bad. I think it's one of the Nestle sticks. The like gold colored one. No complaints there. Okay, let's do Mandy's dish. Also, that's why we like doing front back. It's easier for pictures and you can still pass food. Hers is a lot sweeter. It's good, but you definitely want to have a sweet tooth to get this one. Ooh, the cream. So the strawberry here as well, but the cream by itself also tastes like strawberries. If anything, I think the cream and strawberry part is better than the carrot cake. Carrot cake is a bit too sweet for me, but yeah. I think one of the few times I like the cream more than the cake itself. Okay, so just finished dinner and it is still charging, so that's a really good thing. A lot of other ones disconnect and this one has not. Let's see what percent it's at. So it's pretty much 810, 61%. Since there are a lot of options to charge things, I'm going to do exactly that. Sony battery. Also DJI. A little bit of a tight fit, but I think it should be fine. Yeah, I think it should be good without breaking anything. One of the best parts about a seat is how much room there is. This is if I sit fully properly towards the back of my seat. Pretty good amount of room, and it reaches to about the 5-inch mark of my shorts. My knees here, so about right here. If I'm a bit more relaxed. Still tons of room, and I like that there is kind of the side area, so you can spread out a bit more. And this is super relaxed, which is going to look absurd. So pretty much just my neck that is elevated. If I go all the way down, then I'm here in bed mode. But right now I don't have the bed set. Let's actually go to bed mode. Final part's going to be right over here where you pull this up and it locks into place. There's a handle over here to unlatch it if needed. If you are sleeping, they recommend using this, which is going to be the kind of a waist strap for sleep mode. As you can see though, there is a minor disadvantage to the seat, even though it is pretty wide when you're sitting. When you are sleeping, it's a bit tough. So maybe it's me, but this corridor feels a little weird because this part sticks out. So given how the seat is, you would think your legs would go out that way, but they kind of have to curve that way, meaning that you're kind of like this, which means that you do have a bit less room than you might think. Definitely fine when you're sitting and relaxing and watching TV, but in sleep mode, it does feel a bit more claustrophobic. So I think it's hard to see, but my left knee is touching kind of this bit of the seat. This means you kind of want to adjust over here, but then you're now hitting this side of the well. It's still not bad though, and hard to complain about business class. Also, if you are sleeping, then I think it depends on if you're agnostic or a left or right sleeper. If you're agnostic, doesn't matter, but if you're a right sleeper, then you want to be on the right side of the plane. So this is pretty straightforward with my knees and stuff, and it kind of curves perfectly. Hopefully that makes sense, and yeah, works pretty well. So this is straight, and then this is bent up. If you're a left sleeper, you can't really move your knees up. Like, it looks like you maybe can if you're a bit shorter, but otherwise this is straight. It's really hard to bend. Yes, maybe you could bend like this, but it's a lot more awkward. For me at least, I can't move up such that my legs can come here, because then my head's like this and you can't really sleep like that. Maybe like this, but it's just really weird. Long story short, if you're a back sleeper, then that's fine. If you sleep on the right hand side, then right of the plane, left of the plane. Also be aware of the TV. It's pretty hard. So it's like a full-on metal frame, and I've hit my head on it 2 times already. It's not the plastic frames like the other ones. Oh, so apparently there are other items you can request, like lip balm, socks, shaving kit, comb, and mouthwash. Just have to ask them. We have about 8 hours to Incheon, so quite a bit of time left. Some people are sleeping, but a lot of people are still watching TV, or even one person doing homework. Also did end up getting some snacks, so these are chips, as well as chocolate and fruit. And that just fell off. Okay, don't mind the lights. I think it is going to be flickering a bit on the video because it is at a different frequency. And yeah, I've tried adjusting it, not really working well. This is the bathroom. You have a sink, you have C's hand wash, and also hand and body lotion. Ton of lights here. One thing I do like that I didn't really notice on other planes is going to be this air. So pretty much air blowing right at you on the toilet. Lush is pretty straightforward. One unique thing is going to be this porthole or this window out to the outside. So right now it is dark, you can't see anything, but earlier when it was brighter, you could watch the outside. Area to hang your jacket, and also a seat or maybe baby changing station. Gigantic mirror right over here, and fresh and clean air freshener. Pretty standard bathroom, but I really like the window. If you are flying business, you get 1 hour of internet for free, and all you have to do is enter your family name and seat number to claim it and scan the QR code. If you have elite status with them, then you get other perks as well. Travel Extras is kind of just about upgrading and getting extra baggage and stuff, and that's pretty much it. About 7 hours and 15 minutes left. You might be wondering why we're not flying directly across. And I think the main reason is that a lot of countries either can't or don't want to fly over Russia right now, a lot of airlines. So you kind of have to go around. I'm gonna call the crew and get some items and also another drink. Got orange juice and seltzer water, fruit snack, which is pineapples and blueberries. Most interesting is going to be the sandwich, so one of them is going to be reindeer and the other one's moose. Let's give the moose a try. I don't know if I like that. I'm not sure if gamey is the right word, but it kind of tastes gamey. So I've never had horse, but in my head, it's how I imagine horse to taste. I'm probably going to finish it, but yeah, definitely an acquired taste. Let's try the other one. Other one's pretty good. If I didn't know any better, I think it's chicken salad. I think that one's the reindeer one. Let's do the drink. Orange juice and seltzer water almost always taste amazing. I don't know what berries those are. I think they're very big blueberries, but they taste a bit different. They're okay. Pineapple's good. Headphones actually aren't too bad at all. So even though it is a bit smaller than my ear, the clamping pressure isn't too bad, and yeah, it's fine. Noise cancellation's okay. Mine are still a bit better, but this is fine. Also, in case you're wondering, this is what I'm watching. Okay, gonna brush my teeth and go to bed. Humble company. Good morning. Got a few hours of sleep. Pretty tired, but sun's up. They're about to serve breakfast, and we have about 2 hours left before landing. The seat is super warm, and there's not really any air control that you have control of by yourself. So oddly, this feels really nice over here. It's surprisingly warm. Ended up getting a Coke Zero to cool down because it's just really warm in the cabin right now, and also a hot coffee to wake up. I'm not wearing any heavy base layers or anything, like nothing underneath my pants beyond normal stuff. So not wearing merino wool, like leggings or anything, and shirt's a pretty normal one. Yeah, it's just hot. The sun also can be a factor here. Alrighty, we have about an hour and a half before landing, and it's breakfast time. We have another coffee, croissant bread, fruits, cheese and cold cuts, and also eggs, potato, and sausage. Okay, let's start with the fruit. Pineapple. Good way to wake up. Cantaloupe. Pretty sweet. Blueberry. Salami. Tastes like what you'd expect, and pretty good cuts. Potato. Decently good. Egg. Okay, that frittata is really good compared to everything else we've had. That stands out. Yeah, that's delicious. It's nice and creamy, doesn't have that chalkiness of some other eggs. Sausage. Pretty normal, but good. Croissant. Croissant's a little bit mid. Not too bad, but the main's definitely the highlight. Okay, might be a skill issue on my end, but if you are running hot, don't use the bedding. I'm not talking about the blanket, but the bedding back there. So this by itself is a lot cooler and more breathable compared to that. This is nice if you're running cold or if you want a bit more cushioning, but if you run hot like I do, it's a little much. If you are someone that's a bit taller, 5'11 or so, or 6 foot, and you want to sleep, then it might be a little bit awkward for some parts. So this is me right now, about like one hand from the top, and let me show you my legs. You're pretty much always constantly touching it, and my right foot is by the metal bar. You can kind of reposition a bit more by trying to slide over, but then your leg is in a more weird position. And this is not made too far back, it's kind of enough headroom to be comfortable. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. In order to get the longest line, you kind of have weird structures sticking out. I don't think I can really advantageously move my body in any other way while still maintaining a straight body. Like, this is pretty much it. That leg is firmly touching the left hand side. It's a bit more coffee than I would like, but perfect if you do stick your legs out. Okay, landing in 42 minutes. Time to put out some stuff. Probably just adjust the seat first so I can stand not in the aisle.
This was a pretty long day of flying. Paris to Helsinki, Helsinki to Incheon, and final one being Incheon to Hong Kong. This was a great excuse to check out the new Oneworld Lounge that opened last year. This is the Alliance's very first self-branded lounge and is located in Terminal 1 near Gate 28. Access is limited to Oneworld First or business class passengers, and also Oneworld Emerald and Sapphire. The entrance here is pretty nice, and the lounge opens into a double-height atrium framed by floor-to-ceiling windows, so the whole space is flooded with late afternoon Seoul sunshine. Size-wise, it's about 6,000 square feet, fitting almost 150 guests. You have a few seating zones, including the front bar with marble counters, living room with mixed armchairs, quiet corner that's in the back, and communal work tables. For food, you have a rotating hot buffet with both Korean and Western options, salad bar, and desserts. For drinks, you have Korean craft beers, soju cocktails, and international wines.
Okay, starting with the noodles. Maybe a tad bit overdone, but pretty good. Broth's nice, and yeah, toppings work really well. Okay, let's try the seafood. Pretty good. So kind of like a sweet, savory sauce. Seafood's overdone, but that's the nature of it for a buffet. Pork bulgogi. I think I might get more. The cut is probably not the best, but it's really tasty. Flavors are perfect. Already took a bite out of this, but it's pretty good. Okay, I saw someone else making this here, so I'm gonna make the same thing. Here's this. This is basically like milk soda. It's not even that milky. Again, I saw a Korean person doing this, so I'm assuming it's okay and not a weird thing. I'm gonna take espresso. Bottoms up. Feels like the worst of both worlds.
It has to be really good coffee. This is like okay coffee.
Those are your honest thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it didn't taste good at all. I think it's like the worst of both worlds.
It's like a little burnt coffee, but if it was like high-end quality and you like made that concoction, it would taste better.
Good to know. Today we're flying Cathay Pacific Economy from Incheon to Hong Kong. Let's take a look at the seat. So pretty small screen, about like one and a half iPhones. There also is a tray, which is nice. I kind of like this feature a lot. Means you can actually watch TV here or talk to yourself. And you can also store stuff here, which is convenient. This is the tray. That's pretty straightforward. TV also does have cords for USB, and I don't know what this is. I think is that a headphone jack? That is? Oh, it kind of looks like an XLMR thing, but I don't know. Also some hooks to hang your stuff. Seat itself is pretty standard, so it does move, and this goes up and down. Yeah, not really much to it. Padding's not too bad though. It's a pretty thick padding.
Overall, Finnair's AirLounge nails the minimalist, spacious vibe. It's the only long-haul business seat that lets you curl up cross-legged or sprawl out without a motor in sight. Against the newest suite with the door cabins, it trades gadgetry for real estate and reliability. If you value space, design aesthetics, and something that's comparably easy to book with points and miles, this is a smart pick. Again, if you want to learn about cards to get points to do flights like this, we have links on the website asksebby.com and also down below in the description box. If you made it to this point, leave a reindeer emoji in the comments down below, and I'll try to heart it and respond. 3 questions for you, but what are your thoughts on this business class? Would you use a sauna before your flight? And also, what's your longest flying day? Let me know and everyone else know in the comments down below. Big favor thumbs up, consider subscribing, but otherwise, hope you liked it. See you on the road.